Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest inheritance drama of the century is unfolding in the Delhi High Court. Yes, I'm talking about Sanjay Kapur, 36,000 crores, and a battle between two sides. Priya Sachdev, his wife at the time he died, and his ex-wife, ex-film star Karisma Kapoor. Here it is.
The inheritance battle of Sanjay Kapoor's 30,000 crore empire has reached the Delhi High Court. Intense arguments took place. Karisma Kapoor's children demanded their legal inheritance from their late father and Sanjay Kapoor's wife Priya Sachdev. Sanjay Kapoor died under mysterious circumstances in London, leaving his empire up for takes with no clear succession plan in place, or so we thought, until his wife, Priya Sachdeva, in the aftermath emerged as the main benefactor of a mysterious will that was produced that favoured her. Breaking her silence for the first time in an affidavit in the Delhi High Court, Rani Kapur, his mother, said there was marital discord and estrangement between Sanjay Kapoor and Priya Sachdev, due to which she was removed as the director of the family company. All the way back in 2023, she argued it's unlikely Priya Sachdev could have been named as the sole beneficiary of his personal estate. Meanwhile, senior advocate Mahesh Jethmalani, who was representing the children of Karisma Kapoor in the Delhi High Court, called Priya Sachdeva a Cinderella stepmother, asking pointed questions on the authenticity of the will on the basis of which Priya Sachdev claims the key to late Sanjay Kapoor's empire. Mr. Jethmalani's key contention was restoration of status quo from onward movement of assets. He questioned the circumstances and the manner in which the so-called will was produced. Meanwhile, Priya Sachdeva's team sources said the will was read in a legal setting. They further argued in favor of the authenticity of her claim to be her late husband's estate. Prima facie, the battle for the multi-thousand crore empire is only kicking off, but the battle lines are drawn. All eyes are now on whether the efficacy of the will can be proven in accordance to the law.
What a strange court battle this is, Rhythm. Who's going to win?
We don't know who's going to win.
Karisma Kapoor and Priya Sachdev. It's crazy.
Arnab, we don't know who's going to win, but it's going to get even more intense, even more heated. What we are seeing in the courtroom today and what Mahesh Jethmalani said is only getting more volatile. When he says Priya Sachdeva is the stepmother, the Cinderella stepmother, it's clearly doors open. The other
so
side
Karisma Kapoor is in the battle. She wants the money.
Absolutely.
She wants the money, or she says my children want the money?
No, she says the children want the money, but the bogus, clumsy will, that is a forged will, has clearly been stated in the court today by Mahesh Jethmalani. This is not the real will. But what's even more pertinent is a 79-year-old Rani Kapur who comes into this in an affidavit in the Delhi High Court and says since 2023 there was discord.
So the mother Rani Kapur, and I'd like to welcome everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Courtroom fireworks today. Mahesh Jethmalani, very high-profile Supreme Court senior advocate, very, very high-profile fight, gets in and he says that Priya Sachdev is a Cinderella stepmother. What did he mean, Cinderella stepmother?
He means that shares that really belong to Karisma Kapoor's children have been, she hurriedly wanted to start writing letters to decide on what was there in those shares that were...
So the moment Sanjay Kapoor died, Mrinalini Deshmukh, welcome, senior advocate from Mumbai, knows all these family matters, perhaps one of the best in the country, without a doubt out there. We have senior advocate Supreme Court, N.S. Napinai here. We've got Pratibha Prahlad, who has a little fondness there with Rani Kapur and been close to the family as well. That's just a disclosure. Now, N.S. Napinai, we lost... okay, but are you there, Mrinalini? Mrinalini, who gets the money?
Yes.
The ex-wife, Karisma Kapoor, steps in saying, I want the money. Mother says, I want the money. And wife at the time when he died says, listen, he was my husband, I'm going to take away all the money. You have no right to it. How is this money going to be divided now, Mrinalini, you think? I think I lost there, it's a freeze frame, but the same question, let me put it to Ms. Napinai.
Well, who doesn't want the money, Arnab? But the issue here is going to really rely on where is it going to lie in terms of the facts as they're going to stand proven in a court of law. So we'll have to wait to see how due process plays out. We'll have to see, because very, very serious allegations have been raised against Priya. But ultimately, the facts as are proven is what will decide how the outcome of the case.
No, no, which
It
side
is
are you on this? I
going
mean, do you have sympathies for Karisma Kapoor? She says, I've got 2 children by him. What about Karisma Kapoor?
involved, who is getting it, how are they getting it, all of this will be immaterial once facts are proven. Because, these are not what decides a case. Merely because 30,000 crores is involved doesn't
37,000
change
crores.
how it will be applied. Ultimately, what will matter is,
Can I get Mrinalini on?
Sachdeva really received the money in the appropriate way? Is she entitled to it? And will she be able
Get
to
her back.
sustain the
Other graphics. Now,
testamentary-
my point on this is, the other question is out here that, Pratibha, now Mahesh Jethmalani says, that means Karisma Kapoor says or Rani says? Oh, Rani Kapoor comes and says, listen, my son and his wife were going through a bad marriage.
Yes.
My son and his wife, ex-model and socialite Priya Sachdeva, they were having a bad marriage. They were fighting.
Yes.
What does that have to do if husband and wife are fighting?
She said they were estranged since 2023.
How can he prove that they were estranged?
She said that's why in 2023 she was removed as a director of the and managing director of AIPL on 31st May 2023. How can suddenly 10 days after the death?
My question to Pratibha
she's back as
Prahlad is,
director?
how fair is that to say, to get into your son's marriage when he's no more and claim that he and his wife were fighting? Is that even a good thing to do?
Arnab, well, no, it's not a good thing to do, but leaving that aside, the will
No,
is
why
the
leaving that
dispute.
aside? That's the core point. Pratibha, sorry. How can you
will
leave
is
that aside?
there are a lot
The
of-
main fact is today the mother comes and says, listen, mother comes and says, my son who's no more and his wife didn't get along, so you give me the money. How is that a material
Well,
fact?
I mean, we are going into a legal case right now, it's become a legal case right now, Arnab, and so the legal point is that the will is not registered. The will was suddenly appeared, and the will excludes the mother and the children from the first marriage. So that really is the contentious issue now. And initially Priya, she kind of discounted that there was any will at all. She said there was no will. And after about 7-8 weeks, suddenly the will appeared. And when the will appeared, most of the assets went to Priya. His personal assets, Sona, Comstar, everything went to Priya. The mother was excluded completely. And
This
the
is
children,
an attempt to make.
marriage,
Is this an attempt
his
to make?
marriage to Karisma.
Is this an attempt?
Got a little
No.
bit
Is this an attempt to make? Do we have Mrinalini back? She's a fantastic lawyer in these issues. I'd love to get her. I don't know if she's on. Is she on? I don't know. But is there a? Okay, Mrinalini, can you hear me? Because I can't see you in the box on the right. Are you there, Mrinalini?
I can hear you.
My question is.
Yes, I can hear you.
Mahesh Jethmalani makes an argument in court. Does Mahesh Jethmalani on
Yes.
behalf of Rani Kapur or
No,
Karisma?
Rani Kapoor only files an affidavit in this case.
So no.
So she has spoken out.
Okay,
in
so
the
there is an
affidavit.
affidavit by Rani Kapoor. Very confusing. The mother.
Yes.
Mrinalini, just remain focused here because your bandwidth is so bad. But the question is, the mother comes and says
Yes.
that my son and his then wife were fighting. Is that a material fact? Is that going to change things, Mrinalini?
Can you hear me, Arnab? Can you hear me?
Yeah, did you hear my question?
Yes, I heard your question. Can I answer?
Yes.
Okay, so the fact is, in a way, material because that shows the relationship between the husband and the wife. Now, what is the nature of the fight, how serious is it, and how grave it is something that is to be determined. If it's a normal fight that happens, it does not entitle somebody else to claim because they were fighting. But it does create a situation to show that it all was not well between them. And if what the will says is what it is, it may not be, it could be a questionable thing for them to understand in the backdrop of these relationship issues that the husband and wife had. That is where the question comes up.
But
is where
is
the
that not
doubt
nebulous
comes up.
territory? We got the graphics. So there are 3 people in this situation, and the graphic appropriately represents it with Sanjay in the middle. Unfortunately, is no more. And then there is Priya Sachdev, and there is Karisma Kapoor.
Yes.
And then there's the mother also. Wife, ex-wife and mother all now claiming, and sister.
Sister.
And
yes.
sister also in this, right? So the graphic actually, they're all saying the money is ours, the money is ours, the money is ours. So what's the court got to do with this?
So the court is only going to be deciding on the will, Arnab, on the personal
They don't have
estate of
anything to
Sanjay
do.
Kapoor.
If the will is, how do you prove a will is fake?
There were several things that Mahesh Jethmalani today said which were completely shocking. He said this is a bogus will because it comes from a particular digital footprint that is not even Sanjay Kapoor's. It says that it was at a time it was made when Sanjay Kapoor was not even next to a computer.
How does Mahesh Jethmalani know
because
that?
he says he was traveling with plaintiff, that is Karisma Kapoor and her children, from 10th to 15th, some dates in March. And that's the
Who was
time when
traveling?
Sanjay Kapoor was
So
traveling
the argument
in
is,
March.
okay, 1 minute. The argument, now Ms. Napina, it gets interesting. The argument being presented is that Sanjay Kapoor had actually like broken up sort of with his wife, right? And that he was actually traveling with Karisma Kapoor, and there is some WhatsApp conversations in which he's trying to settle his children by Karisma Kapoor in Portugal or somewhere with
That's
a significant amount of money.
That's right.
If Mahesh Jethmalani can prove this, do things change?
Well, but Mahesh Jethmalani will have to prove it, and will have to prove it not just by conjecture or inference, but with actual hard facts. So
Like?
one aspect of it is that what is being argued today is what we call as circumstantial evidence. So you prove the circumstances around the will to show whether it could have been executed or not. The direct evidence that you would give, you asked a question earlier, Arnab, about how do you prove a will. The first level of proving is, one, the testator is no more, that's why the will has come into effect. So the first level of proving is through the witnesses to the will and the circumstances under which the will was executed, which also the witnesses will speak to. And only thereafter it goes to the credibility of the witnesses who are being put forth for the will, and also the other attendant circumstances, as we call it. We can't go directly first to the attendant circumstances. You may, but you will have to also go into the nitty-gritties of this. So today, when Mahesh is relying on a digital footprint, it's a good argument. It's ingenuous, I would say. And because digital footprints are there for you to follow, unlike, when you put pen to paper, you cannot tell when you put pen to paper. But when that same digital pen is put to a digital paper, you will be able to tell exactly when a particular document was created. So using digital evidence is very ingenious. At the same time, merely because of XYZ circumstances, you may not be able to just use only that to disprove a will. You will have to also go to the very first level in terms of when and how the will was executed, before whom, and are those people credible witnesses?
Okay, so what about the mother in this? How vested is she?
Also,
in this
since we have
Pratibha.
Arnab,
Yes.
Can I make one point?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, please. So since there are so many lawyers, on this panel, I just want to make this point. Mahesh also said that the will was unregistered. Is an unregistered will valid, or is it legally valid? That is something, that the lawyers have to answer.
Yeah, is that unregistered will valid, Mrinalini?
Well, yes, a registration is recommended, but if a certain will is not registered, that does not invalidate the will. The will has to be proved not by its registration or otherwise. The will has to be proved by the method in which my colleague just explained to you, examining the witnesses, examining where it was done, his availability, and so on and so forth. All these other factors, the state of mind, etc. Also, one of the things is the testimony of the mother. If she says that the relationship between the husband and the wife was not only not cordial but was hostile, I don't know what the statements are. I stand corrected if they are otherwise. Then that also creates what could be, why it could be sort of considered not to be a valid. These are all conjecture. These have to be proved. These matters are sub judice. But this gives a rise to a reasonable apprehension that there could be something.
This is all moving very fast. moving very fast. We're going to keep a close watch on this with everyone, including Rhythm, who's tracking that story. Ladies and gentlemen, as I was bringing you all of this, we got a tweet from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has said, I spoke to my friend President Donald Trump and congratulated him on the success of the historic Gaza peace plan. Also reviewed the good progress achieved in trade negotiations, agreed to stay in close touch over the coming weeks. And that is the Prime Minister's tweet on his comment, on his phone conversation sometime back with Donald Trump. So things are thawing a little bit. Things are looking better between India and the US. And though the Quad meeting is not happening, this is a step forward. Prime Minister has been very strongly supportive of Trump's efforts on Gaza. And I think that could be one way in which to get the relationship a little less frosty. When I come back on the other side of the break, why I say it should be India, China, bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen, and why it's so important to follow the visit of the Afghanistan Taliban foreign minister who's just landed some time back and is going to be here in India for 6 days. 6 days, and why Pakistan is going to be worried about that when we are back.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.